This is Cerebral Cinema. Movies of the mind.
That's it. Put the bed against the door. Here, I'll give you a hand. Right over there. Let's go. Yeah, that ought to do it. You got both windows covered with blankets, Doc?
Yeah. Nobody ain't gonna peek in this room.
Good.
Now, see, Jack, what's it all about?
We've got to do some talking, and I don't want to be interrupted.
Our landlady's gonna be plenty mad if we don't talk loud enough for her to hear.
Now, she's one person I don't want to overhear us. But come on, sit down. I'm going to keep my voice guarded.
Right. Okay. Shoot, fella.
All right. Now, 2 men have been killed and buried or dead since we arrived.
By wolves?
By the maestro.
Hey, I say, can you prove that?
No, but I believe enough that I'm going to try to prove it. And I believe that's the third murder he's committed since we made his acquaintance.
You're talking about the body you touched in the dark boxcar.
Yes.
Now, Jack...
I don't want to argue, Doc. I just want to outline a theory. I think there was a body in the car, and that somehow, after he let me touch it, he threw it out of the moving car. Now, that's one murder. The second was the night our boxcar was shunted onto a siding. That same night, Alky Joe was killed here and buried dead.
Well, Jack, none of us knew about that killing until Jumpin' Dick come along and told us about it. Don't you remember?
You and Reggie and I didn't know about it. We don't know what the maestro knew.
But we all woke up together the first thing we knew the car had been dropped off on the siding.
That's the first we three knew. We don't know how long the maestro had known it. May have been there for hours.
Yeah, he could have done it, I reckon. But why?
All I'm trying to do now is show that he was in a position to do all 3 murders. Then the third murder last night.
Yeah, Chinese Tom.
This morning, the body was found outside his cabin, slashed and torn by fangs and claws.
Beastly.
And there's something interesting about both these men killed here.
How you mean?
Alky Joe is a very old, defenseless, decrepit man. So is Chinese Tom. Old, frail, easy prey.
I say that's true, isn't it? But, well, what's that mean?
I don't know for sure, yet. I'm just stating facts.
Yes, but Jack, how can you possibly link the maestro with Chinese Tom's death? He was in his room here in the boarding house all the time. He was under our eye almost constantly.
But Nasha wasn't.
Yeah, Nasha wasn't. And what's more, the maestro said his very self that he turned Nasha into a wolf and sent her out to bring the pack down for a kill.
Well, that doesn't make him a murderer.
Well, I'd like to know why it doesn't.
Because there isn't a jury in the world who'd believe it. How about it, Jack?
You don't have to go as far as a jury. I don't believe it.
Well, what would happen if we'd tell all the maestro said to us to a judge?
Well, if the maestro insisted we told the truth, the judge would lock him up in a padded cell and probably find another cell for the 3 of us for believing him.
Say.
Now, we're getting off the subject. I'm not trying to prove how he killed. I'm just saying I think he did. Now, if he's killed 3 times, there must be a reason behind it.
Unless he's just a plain homicidal maniac.
Maybe. But I think there's more to it than just that. I think there's some kind of a plan behind all this. I think he's working towards some payoff.
Yeah, but look here, Jack. What possible payoff could there be in a place like Bury a Dead more tremendous than murder itself?
I don't know. That's what we've got to find out. There's one thing we do know for certain.
Yeah?
Yes. That what he wants has nothing to do with Bury a Dead itself.
Well, how do we know that?
Because our coming here was accidental. He couldn't have known our boxcar was going to be left in this forsaken Arizona desert hole any more than we did. Therefore, what he wants to accomplish, he would have wanted to accomplish just as much if the boxcar had stopped in Texas or Timbuktu.
Well, then, as I see it, what he wants concerns either the girl, Nasha, or us 3. I mean, we're the only elements that arrived in Bury a Dead at the same time he did.
That's good reasoning, Reggie. Except I don't see how it could be any of us 3. After all, we just happened to get on the same freight car with him and Nasha. Our meeting was as much as accident as our stopover in this place.
Well, then it looks like all this business has got something to do with Nasha.
Yeah, it looks like it. And there's another thing. That girl's completely in his power. So completely, I doubt if she has much will of her own.
Well, she seems to like it. Hey, wait a minute. You don't suppose she's a filthy rich heiress or something, do you?
I say.
Yeah, money to burn, and he's getting her in his power so he can get it for himself.
That couldn't be it.
Well, why not?
Well, first place, she doesn't show much breeding or background. Besides that, she really is an acrobatic dancer. Just watch her throw herself around sometime. That shows training from childhood. And finally, she told us herself that she'd been with his magician act for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, that don't tie up, does it?
Jack, you still don't think the maestro is a great magician, do you?
I've changed my mind. I think he's a very great magician.
Hey, you do?
Now, don't get me wrong. I still think this mysticism gag's baloney. But his art of deception, his ability to take advantage of the average person's gullibility is tremendous. That's what I mean by great.
Quite.
So we know definitely this much. He's got a hidden plan. What he's trying to accomplish has nothing to do with Bury a Dead. He has Nasha completely in his power. And finally, he's a very clever man.
I say, that isn't very much.
Well, it's a beginning. And on top of all that, we suspect him of committing 3 murders.
Hey, Jack, have you forgot something?
What's that?
Tonight's the night he said he was going to turn one of them wolves out yonder into a man.
No, I haven't forgotten. It's early yet. Wolves haven't started to howl.
Well, what are we going to do about that? You suppose there's going to be another killing tonight?
I doubt it. The remaining residents in Bury are dead or frightened. They're staying indoors tonight with loaded guns. Any wolves or pseudo-wolves prowling around tonight are liable to get a dose of lead.
Well, what about us? Are we just going to ignore the maestro's big moment?
Hey, let's don't do that. If he's going to turn a wolf into a man, I'd kind of like to be in on it.
Don't worry, we will. But there's something more interesting than that going on.
You mean what he's doing in his room?
Yeah, he's building something.
How is that with all that sawing and pounding's about that's been going on in here all day?
Where'd he get his tools?
Dry Gulch Mary let him have them.
Well, you haven't any idea what it is, huh?
No. I'd bet money he's knocking together some contraption or another for one of his tricks of magic.
You mean he wants to impress us some more?
I don't know. But it's all a part of the whole plan, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Company.
Hello?
Gentlemen, I have completed my task.
You've done what?
I have completed my task.
Well, what about it?
You will do me the honor of coming into my room and viewing it.
Hey, he wants us to go in his room and see what he's made.
Looks like it.
Well, let's go.
Gentlemen, I'm waiting.
All right. Just a minute.
Give me a hand with the bed, Doc.
Yeah, take it away. There. This way, gentlemen, if you please.
You seem awfully anxious for us to be in on this deal.
You talk in riddles, Mr. Packard.
I don't think so.
Right in this way, please.
Well, where's Nasha at?
I have sent Nasha out into the night on a mission.
That's so?
Is that what you've been working on there under that blanket?
That is it. I have invited you in here for the unveiling.
Well, pull off the blanket. Let's have a look.
Now, those are my intentions. You're ready?
Yeah, go on, pull her off.
Yes. There you are.
I say.
What in the deuce?
Well, I don't get it. What's it supposed to be?
And what does it look like?
Looks like a big pine board box.
But that's just what it is, Doc. A homemade coffin.
A coffin.
Exactly, gentlemen. A rough but sturdy casket.
Ooh-wee. Well, what you aim to do with that?
That will hold a body for burial tomorrow.
Whose body?
That's a strange question, Mr. Packard. Who's dead?
You mean you spent all day building a coffin for Chinese Tom?
And why not? I am the cause of his being dead.
You just out and out admit that?
Certainly. I told you the wolves would come. I told you they would kill.
And because you caused his death, you've gone to the trouble of making him a casket?
Could I do any less?
Well, if this ain't the craziest one yet.
That's a very decent job, don't you think?
Yeah, you're certainly all right for the hammer and saw.
I think this Chinese Tom person should rest more easily. If it hadn't been for me, poor fellow would have been thrown into a hole, covered up, just as Alky Joe was. Yes, he has a great deal to thank me for.
Yeah, such as being dead.
But we must all die, some today, some tomorrow.
I say, are you saying someone is going to die tonight?
No, not tonight. I have more important things to do.
More important than killing folks, huh?
Yes, tonight is my great experiment. Tonight I turn the big wolf into a man.
That'll be good, if you do it.
Oh, I'll do it.
When?
I have sent Nasha out to bring him here.
Bring the wolf here.
They should be here soon.
Now, looky, Maestro, if you're kidding...
When they come, the wolf will be striding beside Nasha on his two hind feet. He will have the form of a human being.
Yeah, that's great talk.
You still don't believe?
No.
You?
Well, all I got to say is, whether you're telling the truth or not, you're one hombre that ought to be locked up.
I'm sick of your shallow mind.
Wait. Hold on.
Huh? What's the matter?
Windows open. Something outside.
It will be Nasha and the wolf.
Jack, look at that. There in the moonlight. Hey, it's a man. He's carrying Nasha in his arms.
Look at his face. It's covered with long hair.
Stand back, please. Something's happened to Nasha.
His face is covered with long hair.
Coming right up to the window.
Please stand back. Here, I will take the girl. Poor little Nasha. Poor child.
Just standing there.
Did you ever see a face like that? Eyes dead, mouth hanging open, covered with hair.
It does kind of look like a wolf, don't it?
Gentlemen, Nasha is dead.
Dead? Nasha's dead?
Dead.
Here, let me see that girl.
She's dead, I say.
We'll see about that.
You're a medical man.
I know enough.
Dead.
She's cold. She's like ice.
Dead.
No pulse.
I fear our experiment tonight has been too much for Nasha. Wolf, go back to your kite.
Aren't we going to...
Wait a minute. I want to see that man.
I have sent him back to the pack.
Well, I'm going out that window after him. I'm not through with him yet.
Jack, come back here.
Stay here. Don't leave that man for a second. Stay there.
Dead. Nasha. Dead.
And you did it. You did it just as much as if you'd plunged a knife in her heart.
Coffin. So I made the coffin for you after all.
I wish Jack hadn't gone out there.
A big coffin. But it will give you room to sleep more comfortably.
Cerebral Cinema hopes you have enjoyed this movie of the mind.